The whole
Exactly.
game has changed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So hiring an SEO person isn't really what you're asking for anymore, right?
No, right. I mean, there are some foundational elements of SEO that we don't want to forget as we are moving and evolving into this world of AEO, because there are some important elements there. For instance, people used to put in best red lipstick 2026 into Google, and then they would expect a couple different links that they would go through and looking for the response. But now that people are getting way more comfortable using AI platforms to search for questions or sort of in response, like you mentioned, to these generative responses we're seeing on Google, people are changing how they're searching. Now they're asking, what's the best red lipstick if I have olive undertones in my skin? So we need to change the way that we are presenting the content for our business online. And beyond that, need to just change how we're showing up as a business online. Um, it's no longer just about having a website. We really need to start thinking towards having a more not only comprehensive sort of online digital footprint, but also thinking about having a cohesive digital footprint online. Because AI is now, when they're giving those sort of generative responses back to you, they are looking for what's the brand, who's the expert that we can really trust enough. And to build that trust with AI, they're searching all across the internet. They want to see you mentioned in Google reviews or in Reddit forums or on YouTube videos or being on podcasts. And the more it can see of your presence online, and the more of that presence that is speaking to your depth of expertise on a certain topic, that's really what's going to build that trust equity with AI. And that's what's going to get you pulled into those AI responses or that neat little answer that Google is giving at the top of the page. So it's all about building trust with this, what we're calling digital authority online these days. So
So
hopefully that speaks a
interesting.
little
So
bit.
it's a rainbow.
It's a rainbow, yes.
Or
And
I call it a symphony
yes,
typically, right?
exactly. You sort of want to be cross-pollinating and mutually supporting all these different platforms because, it's sort of a snake eating its tail sort of situation. Because now that people can generate so much content using AI is going to the other direction, and they want to see that you're truly a real person that exists out there and you have real unique insights that are adding sort of to that collective conversation that's happening on the internet, because it can pull from what already exists out there. They want to see things that are fresh and unique and human.
Well, that is refreshing to
Yeah, yes,
hear
yes.
because,
Right.
right? Because I think a lot of people are worried about that. People are cranking out just articles, that are AI written and just populating it everywhere, throwing it around like it's confetti, thinking, So I like the tone of this. So for someone like myself, Jenna, who
Yes.
gets out, and I mean, I was just doing a public speaking thing yesterday, a workshop for the National Association of Women Business Owners, right? And so that's a digital footprint, right?
Yes.
Where it's on their site, it's on a couple other sites, it's on Eventbrite, it's got my name, it's got my business name, it's like, right? So is that what you mean, right? Like these little digital footprints all over the place,
Exactly.
showing me as
Yes.
an expert to help people start up businesses.
Right. And the more places that you can get mentioned, places that it considers authority, whether it's a business journal or a business like Kenobi Martin's that's well respected in the community, or a press release in your local paper. Maybe you're doing a guest article in an online publication. It's not just about the social media, and hopefully I didn't make it sound like that, but the more that your name is being popped up in these authoritative sources, the more AI can recognize that as, yes, this is somebody that's trusted, well respected, visible in the community, and this is someone that we want to surface on our platform as an expert.
Interesting. So what's interesting to me about this is this kind of idea of what is was maybe 15, even 20 years ago, seems to be coming back into fashion, which
Yes.
is events, public speaking, hosting events putting those events on like public calendars,
Yes, yes.
right? That right?
It's so funny because we were just talking. I started my career in PR, and you had mentioned that you had this event at Kenobi Martins, and I was doing some PR for them. And it's kind of coming back to this old school way of doing PR where we would get people events, get them on calendars, send out little press releases, seeing where we could get their name and their events mentioned, seeing if we could get little article write-ups. So it's so interesting how it is coming back full circle to what kind of was considered an old school way of getting your business out there. So it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I like it because I'm
Yes,
old.
right. Exactly. It, like you said, it comes back to this human touch, which I think, there is so much fear in this conversation around AI, is the world just going to be taken over by robots and AI, and sort of what is our purpose out here, just as individuals or owners or creatives, really it is going to come back to that human element, that authentic perspective that we're providing, putting out there in the world. So, like you keep saying, it's refreshing and kind of reinforces that we're not going to just be living in a world of robots in the future. That it's important we keep that human element in our content and how we're showing up online.
And I think what's interesting as in my business, continue to dive into AI and AI agents, we're onboarding a team of 6 AI agents right now, and
Yeah,
not to replace anybody on the team, it's to empower the people on the team to work smarter. So I'm basically
absolutely.
giving each team member their own AI agent so they can elevate what they're doing and work
Fascinating.
smarter,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not displacing anybody, but
No. And I
just
think
want to
if
be
you
clear about
use,
that.
yeah,
But
anytime using AI, you'll start to realize that it really needs the critical thinking human brain behind it, because AI is great at spitting out facts or putting together a summary, or, it's basically just pulling words from across the internet. And unless you have a human critical brain to analyze it, to synthesize it, are we going in the right direction? Or this fact has no business living in this document. You know, we are just not at a place, as you were speaking to, where it's replacing humans in any sense. We really need that brain behind it all. Yeah.
Exactly. But I think more and more as folks are able to grow a business without a team potentially could be,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
the owner of the business is more and more important, as I am hearing you say, as like you know, someone that we know, like, and trust and get to know as the robots take over, right?
Yes.
I'm just
Right.
kidding. No,
Yes.
but thought leadership is the phrase we use in, or I use in marketing, right? Like, what is your
Hmm.
thought leadership? Who are you? People need to know you and get to know you as the business owner, as the person I'm doing business with, right? Supported
Absolutely.
by some other folks, but really important to be out in front, be visible in the community, on local boards, that digital, which helps your digital footprint on your socials, on LinkedIn, whatever those social channels are. It's all this symphony or rainbow, whatever we want to
Yes.
call it, right?
Exactly.
That works well together.
Right. And I think maybe that is sort of the underlying thread of this conversation is now more than ever, it's so important to be visible as that human thought leader version of yourself. And I think maybe a lot of people have thought with this advent of AI and how much it can do for you, that you can somehow sort of slip into the background and just have AI run this business for you. And it's actually become the opposite. You've got to be in the forefront more than ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Jenna, thank you so much for your
Thank
wisdom
you.
and chatting with me today. I think this is super helpful. I'm
Good.
sure we'll all change tomorrow and we'll have a new
Yes.
conversation. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's constantly evolving. It's an excellent point that this is a landscape that changes almost weekly. So you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. It's always something new to learn.
Yes. Well, it keeps you in business for sure.
That's for sure. Well, thank you so much, Felina. Appreciate the time.